Hello students, Jai Hind. Good morning and welcome back to our QR session. In last lecture, we have completed quick revision of chapter 5 chemistry that we have completed in our last lecture. Now we are from today's lecture we are starting revision of biology. In that, in today's lecture, we are targeting your chapter number 6. And remember one thing already you have received the edited copy of topics. There were some minor confusion at that time, so we edited it again and resent to you. So you need to verify in that from when we are starting the quick revision of biology, chapter number 6, that is life processes. In that, we are going to revise some main topics which will help you understand to just have a quick look at the whole chapter, understand which topics you need to revise. See, dear student, from this topic, from this chapter, one topic has been eliminated, topic of transportation. So that topic you do not have to prepare. So if you list out the rest of the topic which you need to revise, the one that is nutrition, another that is respiration, and one that is excretion. You have to concentrate on all these three topics. This topic is eliminated. That means you do not have to prepare this topic like transportation in animal, transportation in plant, understand? Transportation in human being, structure of heart, internal blood flow in heart, that you do not have to prepare. So from this particular chapter, three topics are left to revise: nutrition, respiration, and excretion. Now, dear student, here just on the board, what I am highlighting, please concentrate. Suppose three topics need revision: nutrition, then, as you know, respiration, the second topic, and third topic, as you know, excretion. Suppose you just want to have a quick revision of all these three topics. What you need to remember and prepare in nutrition, understand the first the definition of nutrition, as you all know, that living organism ingest food which is digested, and necessary minerals and nutrients are absorbed from digested food. This whole process is known as nutrition. Then you need to remember the types of nutrition. So as you all know, you can divide nutrition into two parts. Okay, when you divide nutrition into two parts, first you need to concentrate this way: autotrophic nutrition. And the second one, that is heterotrophic nutrition. Now, when you are discussing about autotrophic nutrition, you have to concentrate that this autotrophic nutrition is only performed by autotrophs. That means living organism which contains chlorophyll, that is green plants. Understand, green plants has got a specific green colored pigment chlorophyll present in chloroplast. Understand, which is helping in the process of photosynthesis which happens in sunlight, in presence of sunlight. Here, when you are discussing autotrophic nutrition, you must have the idea about the equation of photosynthesis. You must be knowing it: 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives C6H12O6 plus O2. You must be remembering this, okay? Now see, after writing this, okay, the equation, now what you need to concentrate, this is the equation of photosynthesis, this is G, this is L, this is aqua, and this is gaseous. You need to remember the equation for photosynthesis. At the same time, when you are talking of autotrophic nutrition, you may be in exam asked, write autotrophic nutrition or photosynthesis process stepwise. So which steps you need to remember when you are discussing about autotrophic nutrition? The first, absorption of sunlight, means absorption of solar energy by chloroplast. Second, conversion of solar energy into electric energy and decomposing water into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Third process, reduction of carbon dioxide into starch. So when you are discussing this particular topic, you need to remember autotrophic nutrition. You need to remember the three phase rather than the three steps. I can also say phase. So three phase which are involved in a regular lecture, I told you these are called light phase, and this is called dark phase, as you all know. This happens both the stage in presence of sunlight, where the solar energy is absorbed by chloroplast. It become excited chloroplast and release ion, release electron, which help in ionization of water. That will be the second stage. Okay, where, first, solar energy is absorbed by chloroplast. Second, solar energy is converted into chemical energy. And this chemical energy converted into chemical energy means a chloroplast which absorbs electron become excited and release electron which will ionize water, understand, and forms hydrogen and oxygen. Third stage is called dark phase, which is reduction of carbon dioxide into carbohydrate or starch. So this is autotrophic nutrition. This much you need to remember. Rest, that is the function of stomata. How can you prove that starch is produced in leaf? How can you prove that sunlight is necessary for process of photosynthesis that you can read and prepare by yourself. That's very simple topic. But as far as the autotrophic nutrition is concerned, this has to be clear. Suppose heterotrophic nutrition, as you all know, as far as heterotrophic nutrition is concerned, you can classify it into three parts. First, when you are discussing of heterotrophic nutrition, you can say holozoic nutrition. Holozoic. Then, as you all know, second type of nutrition can be called parasitic nutrition, and third is called saprophytic nutrition. In holozoic nutrition, that you can consider the nutrition performed by us. We are already eating plant product and animal product. Understand? We are not consuming plants and animal all together. We are just utilizing the plant and animal product for our nutrition without harming them. So our nutrition can be called holozoic. Parasitic nutrition, where nutrition is derived from other source by harming the host. So that is parasitic nutrition, and you know all example. Understand, in plant you can mention cascutine, animal to head lice, mosquitoes, tapeworm, all are one type of parasites. When it is concerned with saprophyte, so saprophytic nutrition means the nutrition is derived from dead and decaying source. That means either from excretory material, understand, of plants and animal, and from their dead body, where decomposers like bacteria, fungi, and even vultures and hyena, they all can be considered decomposers because and saprophyte because they derive their nutrition from dead bodies and decaying matter. So that is called saprophytic nutrition. Understand? Then, dear student, if you just want to prepare the topic in this, then you all know nutrition in living organism, nutrition in amoeba. So that is simple topic which you can prepare easily, nutrition in amoeba. Okay. But now when you are discussing about nutrition in in human being. So when you are discussing about nutrition in human being, diagram so you can prepare by yourself very easily. Understand, it's not so complicated, but when you are discussing nutrition in human being, which point you need to remember. So suppose we are not concentrating on the whole diagram, okay, but just to highlight it, suppose buccal cavity if we highlight, then suppose esophagus, okay, then suppose dear students stomach. I am just giving you the quick point of revision. Stomach. Then suppose first, suppose this is large intestine. Okay, right? I am just giving you the guideline where you can remember this way. And here you can show the small intestine. This is just to understand. Okay, diagram you can design by yourself. And this is small intestine. Okay. Okay, right? Now what you need to remember is this: in buccal cavity in mouth, understand, you need to be very sure about your labels. This is buccal cavity, tongue, teeth, esophagus, stomach, understand. When you are trying to understand this, you just this way you need to remember only, understand, liver, and here suppose gallbladder, and here suppose I saw, understand, bile duct. Now how will you remember the complete human digestive system? So suppose try to understand in buccal cavity, you need to remember the name of uh, one enzyme. What I am writing now, please just try to understand it. Suppose amylase, and here I am writing it with its starch. Understand? Then what I am doing in liver, okay, I am writing bile, bile juice. Understand? Here in gallbladder I am mentioning uh, TMP store. This is bile duct. Okay. Now in stomach I am mentioning here, see, HCl, pepsin, and mucus. To remember it in short, you remember HPM, HCl, pepsin, mucus. Okay. Now here, this is just for remembering, not the exact diagram to understand. Okay. Suppose somewhere here I saw pancreas. Suppose this is pancreas. So in pancreas, you need to remember this way. In my regular lecture also I highlighted this. ATL. A means amylase. T means trypsin. L means lipase. Okay. And you just saw it here in small intestine. To remember the whole short note, suppose in small intestine you saw like this and write villi. Okay. If this is enough for highlight, you can design and speak the short note quite easily by yourself. See, simple diagram just to remember the total content of the topic. Understand? Just keep it in mind. Okay, just keep it in mind that you will start thinking mouth, buccal cavity, amylase, esophagus, stomach. In stomach, HC, HPM, HCl, pepsin, mucus, liver, bile juice, then uh, gallbladder, TMP, temporary store, bile duct, pancreas, ATL, amylase, trypsin, lipase, which I have sent it here. This is small intestine, this is large intestine. I have shown and written villi. Now, if you just keep this diagram and this highlight in mind, how can you prepare the complete short note by yourself? So when we ingest the food in our mouth, it is no doubt the food is cut into small parts. It is cut into pieces with the help of our teeth as well as tongue. Tongue will also try to roll the food inside our mouth. At the same time, there are salivary glands in our buccal cavity which will release amylase enzyme which mix with the food and start the digestion of starch in our mouth. So remember one thing, digestion of starch starts in your mouth. Okay. Now this soft food, understand, will travel through esophagus and reach to stomach. How this process take place, you have to remember that esophagus, our food pipe, has muscle, and contraction and relaxation of those muscle will allow the food to travel easily through esophagus and reach to our stomach. In the wall of the stomach, there are specially designed cells which release three types of enzyme. Hydrochloric acid, which will try to acidify your food. Understand? For increasing the process of chemical digestion. So, because the food has been turned into acidic medium, so pepsin start working on that digested food in stomach, and the digestion of protein starts in our stomach. Sometime the inner wall of the stomach is protected by mucus, which will control the excretion of pepsin and HCl. Understand? Now, digested food which has been converted into simple absorbable unit will reach to your small intestine. There are variation in the length of the small intestine, as you know. Those animal which are herbivorous animal has to digest cellulose, so they have got a large small intestine. In carnivorous, meat is easy to digest, so they have got a short length small intestine. Carnivorous has the shortest small intestine, herbivorous has the largest. When food travel in our small intestine, understand, it receives secretion from liver and pancreas. From liver, it gets the secretion of bile juice. Why I have written? So, bile juice, you all know, yellow is green in color. Okay, remember this? This bile juice secreted by liver, that's why I written temporarily stored in gallbladder and through bile duct, understand, it reached to our small intestine. At the same time, three enzymes from pancreas also reach to our small intestine. In small intestine, what actually take place? The bile juice start working, understand, on fats. It will convert the large fat molecules, means globules, into smaller one. This process is known as emulsification, and will also try to make alkaline medium in small intestine. So for function of bile juice is over. To function, if they ask you in board exam, mention to function of bile juice. The first one, bile juice secreted from liver, greenish yellow, is actually, it has two biological significance. The first one, it will make the food alkaline in small intestine. Not only that, it will also convert those large fat globules into smaller one. Okay, the process which is no, it is looking like fermentation, the process which is known as emulsification. Now you need to mention about rest of the three enzymes, amylase, trypsin and lipase. Here also, dear student, be smart enough to remember, understand, amylase for starch, trypsin for protein and lipase for fat. Okay. So amylase complete the digestion of starch and convert into simple sugar, means maltose, fructose, sucrose, etc. Trypsin will complete the digestion of protein and convert it into simple unit like amino acid. Lipase will complete the digestion of fat and convert it into simple unit like glycerols. Understand? So this way the digestion is completed in small intestine, and because small intestine has got larger length as well as in the inner lumen of the small intestine there are villi like projection. If it is extended, it will increase the surface area of absorption for large intestine. So while the food travels, digested food travels in a small intestine, it will absorb all necessary nutrients, understand, from this, and rest transfers to the large intestine. While the food travel in large intestine, that undigested food, necessary water is absorbed from by the villi present on the lumen of large intestine, and then it is excreted out. Okay, here also you need to remember one very particular word, that is known as sphincter muscle. When the food comes to stomach, understand, it is it's rhythmic contraction and relaxation for digestion, but after that the food is transferred to small intestine by sphincter muscle, which is actually guiding force here. Here is also the anus is also, understand, the presence of sphincter muscle, which due to the force of undigested food will open and it is excreted out. This way, a diagram you practice, that's all okay, but this way you can prepare the short note very easily by yourself. Is it clear in your mind? So suppose, dear student, when you are just revising the topic of nutrition, this many points are sufficient. Okay. Now suppose you want to have a quick look at the topic of respiration, then similar to this way, what you should remember, okay? Diagram and all that you need to practice by yourself, and only diagram does not fetch mark, that I have discussed in many of my lectures. Understand? You need to develop and draw a very good diagrams, and that happens only by the practice. But suppose you want to take a revision of, suppose we take the next topic, respiration. Suppose you want to revise this topic of respiration, which important points you need to mark? Understand? Let us try to understand this. Which important point you should mark? So the very first thing in preparing the topic of respiration is this: you should know the complete definition of respiration. The holistic process of inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide can be called respiration, or can also be called the breathing. Now, what happens in respiration? First, you learn the definition. Now, you just want to understand the types of respiration. Okay. Now, when you just define the type of respiration, what you should target? In every respiration, the raw material remains glucose. You all know. C6H12O6 means molecule containing 6 carbon atom. It remains the raw material in every respiration. Either it can be aerobic respiration or it can be anaerobic respiration. Now what happens? See, try to understand this. How you can remember this? Suppose in aerobic respiration, there is enough availability of oxygen in aerobic respiration, which generally takes place in higher class living organism. Because of enough oxygen is available in aerobic respiration, glucose molecule is completely oxidized, understand, and it is converted into carbon dioxide, water, and lots of energy. How much energy by complete decomposition of one glucose molecule? 38 ATP, and this happens in mitochondria of the cell only. So this is something about aerobic respiration. Clear in your mind? In presence of oxygen, final product are CO2, H2O, complete oxidation of glucose molecule, and energy is stored, which is stored in ATP molecule, which is known as currency of energy, happens in mitochondria of the cell. Suppose in anaerobic respiration, so in as far as when you are describing the anaerobic respiration, please concentrate on two things. Here one important thing I just want to mention, dear student, is in aerobic or anaerobic, first stage is converted glucose into pyruvate, that you should remember. Pyruvate means organic molecule consisting of 2 carbon atom. That you have to highlight. It happens in every aerobic and anaerobic respiration. The first product will remain pyruvate. Understand? Now in aerobic, it can happen in animal also and lower class animal also. Lower class organism also, like yeast, bacteria, etc. Okay. Now what happens in animal when your muscle cell, this you need to remember, muscle cell does not contain enough oxygen. This happens in cytoplasm. This also happens in cytoplasm. Okay. When muscle cell of animal does not have enough oxygen, then what happens? Complete oxidation of the glucose molecule does not take place. As a result, because complete oxidation does not take place, glucose molecule will have product like lactic acid and carbon dioxide, and this presence of lactic acid will sometimes cause some cramp in our muscles. Okay, means you start feeling lethargic if it happens. Now here, uh, here in yeast, bacteria, fungus, etc., there is no availability of oxygen at all. So glucose molecule is not completely oxidized, but the end product will be ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, and just only 2 ATP energy is released. So this is aerobic and anaerobic respiration, the first complete revision of the topic. Understand? Is it clear in your mind? This way you can have a look at this. Glucose in types of respiration, first product will be pyruvate only. Either it is aerobic or anaerobic. In aerobic oxidation, mitochondria end product CO2H2O 38 ATP energy. In anaerobic, in animal muscle cell are deficient in sufficient amount of oxygen, then it happens in cytoplasm and the end product will be lactic acid and carbon dioxide. On account of that lactic acid, you sometimes have some cramp in the muscles. In some lower class organisms, understand, it also happen in cytoplasm, but because of oxygen is not available, it end product will be ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide. You all must be knowing that this process of glucose converting into ethyl alcohol in absence of oxygen is also known as fermentation, that you all know. So this way the types of the respiration is over. Now suppose, dear student, you want to remember, take an example, human respiratory system and how the process of respiration take place, then what you will remember, what you will highlight. So suppose alveoli, try to understand this, very important. Alveoli, and these are bronchitis, bronchioles, and here what you need to remember is larynx, then pharynx, okay, and trachea. They form a tubular structure here. Here larynx, pharynx, and tubular structure. This is alveoli, okay. Larynx, pharynx, and trachea forms a complete tubular passage for the transfer of. So what happens? Tubular structure is formed by larynx, pharynx, trachea. Before that, you can also mention about nostrils. Okay, what happens? Nostril you can mention, then bronchi, alveoli. Okay, what you will show here in alveoli, you should write only blood vessels. This is enough. Okay. Now, dear student, what you need to remember: heart and lungs and backflow also you need to remember. From heart, when you show, you need to write blood with CO2, and when returns you need to write blood with oxygen, and you should also mention here RBC as respiratory pigment. Okay, respiratory pigment. If you just show this one, it becomes easy for you to guess the complete process of respiration. Okay, here you can also show diaphragm also. Okay, suppose the diaphragm is here. What is the function of diaphragm, that you all know? It will try to just raise your chest or relax it. Understand? And it is protected in our rib cage so that the air passage does not collapse, that you all know. Now see, start speaking. The process of respiration starts from nostrils. Air, understand, enter the nostrils, and the fine air present on the inner wall of the nostril will purify the air. Then it travels through larynx, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, and enter our lungs. Now the air which enter our lungs, here you need to write air containing oxygen, and then backflow, what you will write? Air with CO2. Okay. Now what happens? That wall of the alveoli are very softer and rich in blood vessels. What happens? Impure blood from heart containing carbon dioxide will revolve in the blood vessel, means capillary present in the wall of alveoli, and at that same time oxygen rich air will enter alveoli where the exchange take place. CO2 from blood diffuses to air, and oxygen from air diffuses to blood. So impure air now returns back and thrown out through nostrils, and the oxygen rich blood will go to heart and supply to all parts of our body. Though it is very our body has got, means all higher class living organism has got a very complex body structure where normal diffusion process are not sufficient for the transfer of oxygen. So we have got RBC present in blood, red blood corpuscles, as a respiratory pigment which will combine with oxygen and transfer oxygen to all parts of our body very quickly, because you all know blood travels and transports so fast in our body. So this is the way you can prepare about respiration part. Okay. Suppose so these two topic this way only, dear student, you need to highlight and you need to remember only. Understand? This way you draw some arbitrary figure in your mind: nostril, larynx, pharynx, trachea, air in, air out, blood in, blood out. Understand? Here, two words you can also mention: pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, because pulmonary artery brings that impure blood, and pulmonary vein will get back that pure oxygen rich blood to our heart. Okay. So this is respiration. Okay. Now see, if you just want to take a quick look and quick revision of the topic of excretion, so dear student, you can prepare the diagram of kidney, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. That's very easy. Okay. When you are discussing the third topic of excretion. Here you can easily remember that particular diagram of kidney, human excretory system. Understand? Now we have already understood how the gaseous waste is exchanged out of our body, like carbon dioxide, water vapor through our skin in the form of perspiration. But even in our cell, during the process of metabolism, some nitrogenous liquid waste, like consisting of urea, uric acid, is produced, which require a specific excretory system for throwing out such liquid waste from our body. Understand? And for that we have got a pair of kidney which is reddish brown in color. On the kidney lies adrenal gland, and you need to, you know that diagram, that renal artery brings that impure blood consisting of urine, understand, to kidney, wherein nephron ultrafiltration take place. Now dear student, if you want to just remember nephron structure, you need to draw, but for remembering simply the short note of nephron, some point needs to be in your mind. I am just drawing the arbitrary diagram for you. Okay. This is just for understanding. You can draw this way for understanding only. Okay. Here what I am showing here, try to understand it. Right. Take an example. This way I am highlighting, and here this way I am highlighting. Okay. And here I am just showing that glomerulus, and these are arrow. This is glomerulus. Understand? Bowman's capsule, right? Then Henle neck, Henle slope, and all these things that you can remember by yourself. What my target is that I just want to give you some highlight only. Understand? Here to show Henle slope, you can do this way also. Okay? Now see. The points on which you need to concentrate for remembering the short note is that here I have shown. Do you remember the name of this? Efferent arteriole. Okay. Efferent arteriole. Then you write here efferent arteriole. Then you write here glomerulus. Then glomerulus. This is Bowman's capsule. Okay. Rest you know. Okay. And now here just you write this way that glucose, salt, amino acid. Okay. Glucose, salt, amino acid. Right. Here you write one word ultrafiltration. And here you add one word reabsorption. Now, how will you remember the complete short note? We have in regular lecture drawn the complete diagram that impure blood containing urine through afferent arteriole travels in glomerulus and leaves glomerulus via efferent arteriole. Due to the difference in diameter, the blood will flow with great pressure in the glomerulus capillary, which exists in the cup-shaped structure known as Bowman's capsule, and just the part following the Bowman's capsule is known as neck. U-shaped structure is known as Henle's loop. Then distal convoluted tube that you know. Impure blood containing urinary waste will enter through afferent arteriole and leaves through efferent arteriole. Because of the difference in diameter, blood will flow with great pressure, and as a result, from the walls of the capillary, which are actually semi-permeable, only urine separates out, and then blood travels in renal artery and then returns to renal vein, as you know. But while urine separated is traveling in this nephron structure, there are at some junction point. Understand? You can show this way. There are some junction point where actually what happens? The reabsorption of some useful product like glucose, salt, amino acid, which must have been filtered out during the process of ultrafiltration, may take place. Understand? So this way they are again reabsorbed, and the urine which is actually separated from blood goes to collecting tubule, and from collecting tubule so many units are packed to pack there. From all, the urine is collected in collecting tubule, goes to ureter, then urinary bladder and urethra, which give urge to our brain to go for urinate. So this is the process of complete excretion. So this way, dear student, in today's lecture we have taken a quick look and quick revision of chapter number 6, that is life process. So this way you have to keep in mind, see my lectures again and again, that how will you prepare topic of nutrition, how will you prepare topic of excretion, how will you prepare topic of respiration. Just keep some highlights. When you are even sitting and thinking regarding the whole chapter, you just keep those highlights in mind and try to revise the whole topic. First, what you should do, you should first see the lecture, then go through material thoroughly, read textbook thoroughly, and then you start thinking, and again see my lecture and start thinking regarding nutrition, respiration, as well as excretion. Okay, this is going to help you a lot to just have, just in 2 or 3 hours, the quick revision of chapter number 6, life process. In next lecture we will have understand some quick look at those remaining chapters of biology. Okay, so dear student, prepare it this way, keep those highlight point in mind, understand and prepare, start developing the complete short note by yourself. Okay, thank you very much.